bring out the brooms in Portland because the Blazers just got swept. What is going on, y'all? 5 Sports Hall back at it with another video talking, of course, some NBA. And here to talk about the Blazers who just got swept. Yes, that's right, swept by the Pelicans. And listen, if you went to Vegas and bet on the Pelicans to sweep, I mean, you'd be a very rich man or woman right now because nobody, and I mean nobody that I know, predicted this. And this is why we love the playoffs, right? So, first and foremost, yes, I will eat crow. I predicted the Blazers to win this series, as did most people, because they were the 3rd seed going up against the 6th seed. But little did I know, and I mentioned this after Game 3 when the Blazers went down 3-0, and that's when I basically said the series is over. Little did I know that the trade of Nikola Mirotic was going to change the season for the Pelicans, okay? And I am not overreacting here, okay, because I have been a proponent of this from when Nico was on the Bulls, because the Bulls had to trade Nico because they were winning too many games. The Bulls, one of the worst teams in the league that were clearly tanking this year, won and reeled off like 7 straight games earlier in the season because of Nico, okay? And remember when he got hurt because Bobby Portis, you know, knocked him in the face, punched him, and then Nico came back and the Bulls started winning, and they had to literally trade Nico because they were winning too much. So this is a guy who's very underrated in this league, and clearly you can see he brings winning to your team, okay? And here's the thing, with the Pelicans themselves, why he's such a great fit next to Anthony Davis is because he spaces the floor. He's a very good rebounder. He's a very decent defender as well, and he just fits exactly what that offense needs, okay? So I didn't know that Nikola Mirotic was going to have that much of an impact, and then you got playoff Rondo. I mean, should have known that was coming. The real playoff Rondo came out, and honestly, man, last year, again, I have to use it. These guys were all on the Bulls. This is so funny. I'm a Bulls fan if you guys don't know. This is so funny. Rondo was on the Bulls last year, and they were up 2-0 on the Celtics, on the damn Celtics with IT. Remember that team? And they went up 2-0 on the road, and then Rondo ends up getting hurt, and then they lose that series. A lot of people had predicted the Bulls to beat the Celtics, and the Celtics ended up going to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they were the #1 seed last year, if I'm not mistaken. So the Bulls were going to beat the Celtics because of Rondo. This is how good playoff Rondo is. So it is so funny that the main difference makers in this series were the 2 former Bulls, Rajon Rondo and Nikola Mirotic. I mean, I'm not trying to understate the fact that Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday have been ridiculous, but we expected them to do what they did, okay? They are stars, AD especially, and Jrue Holiday has been one of the most underrated players as well. So, Nico and Rondo, I did not see that coming, and honestly, I deserve all the criticism, and I'm going to eat all the crow. And when I make my predictions for the next round, I'm going to take into account that there might be some X factors coming up, because look, honestly, to do what the Pelicans did is not easy. They absolutely just smashed the Blazers, and I'm going to get to the Blazers real quick here. I'm going to just finish up on the Pelicans, but my God, I need to discuss what the hell the Blazers need to do with that team. But with that being said, now the Pelicans are going to move on to face the winner of the Spurs-Warriors series. It'll be the Warriors. We know that. So they're basically going to face the Warriors. Real quick, though, before I talk about that, I am so glad that all of this talk that Anthony Davis has never won a playoff game and Anthony Davis hasn't done squat in the playoffs is going to go away, because not only has he won his first couple playoff games, his first 4, but he swept the opponent and he put up 47 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks in the closeout game. So it's not like his team carried him. He showed up and he closed out that team, and now he's moving on to the next round. And regardless of what happens in the next round, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be picking the Warriors to win that series. But Steph Curry, they're saying he might not be back into the second round. And who knows, this Pelican team looks dangerous, okay? But I'm going to say my prediction for once all of the first round series are over and the second round matchups are set. So I'm going to make my prediction then. But with that being said, I'm very happy for Anthony Davis, and I'm really ecstatic for this team and for the Pelicans, because it's just a feel-good story, you know? And one other thing I want to discuss, and I tweeted this, go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you guys don't already, links down below for that. The Pelicans are going to have an interesting decision to make this summer, because Boogie Cousins' contract is up, and you know, we all know he tore his Achilles in the regular season, and he was ruled out for the rest of the year. And here's the thing with Boogie Cousins. I get it. You know, he's an all-star player, one of the best big men in the league, but I would really consider letting this man walk this summer. I really would. And I would do it just because I see what I have in Nikola Mirotic. Okay, now you guys might be thinking I'm crazy. Fives, are you kidding me? You're picking Nico over Boogie. Look, I've never been the biggest Boogie fan ever. Okay, I think he's a head case. I think sometimes, you know, he's too much of a distraction for your team. He doesn't have enough control on his temper. I don't think he's mature enough. I think he's very childish sometimes. And for me, for DeMarcus Cousins to be a leader in the locker room, I'm not a big fan of that. And for me, there's certain guys like that, you know, in the league where you just don't trust him. Boogie Cousins is one of them. Now, is he insanely talented? Of course, okay? But still, my whole reasoning for letting Boogie Cousins walk is more to do with Nico than it does with Boogie, because like I said, Nico just fits this team so much better, and depending on the success they have in the next round, I mean, you really have to think about it. Now, look at the advantages. They're both the same age. They're not losing anything there. Nico's going to be significantly cheaper to extend. He's actually on contract for another year, and then you can extend him after that. Boogie contract expires this season, and you have no worries about being, you know, a distraction, a head case in the locker room, none of that. And sometimes, I mean, they obviously did start to play well together, but sometimes they had some issues, AD and Boogie. So you have to take that into account. It's been a seamless fit for Nico and AD, so I would really, really consider letting DeMarcus Cousins walk. Now, let me get to the Portland Trailblazers, who just got swept, like I said, and this team should be absolutely embarrassed, okay? They absolutely have been inexcusable in losing this series in the fashion that they lost it. First of all, you shouldn't lose this series as a higher seed. Second of all, getting swept. I mean, okay, first and foremost, let's talk about Damian Lillard, okay? Completely got shut down, clamped down by Jrue Holiday in this series. Even in this last game, what did he put up? 19, 5 and 6 on 7 for 16 shooting. Those are not Dame numbers. We know that. We expect better from him. He's an all-star. He's considered to be an all-NBA first teamer this season. I don't have him on my first team, but I have him on my second team. But with that being said, we know Damian Lillard is better than this. He didn't show out, okay? And we take a look at the way this team is currently constructed. I mean, remember that talk about can any team disrupt, you know, the Rockets, Warriors, Western Conference Finals showdown that's going to be inevitably happening? And everybody was talking about Portland. Here's where I will take credit for this. I never believed in this team, okay? Did I expect them to get out of the first round? Yeah, absolutely. But I did not believe in this team. Why? They overachieved, okay? And here's the thing with Portland. This matchup was just brutal for them. Yusuf Nurkic was relegated in the series. He was absolutely useless. He couldn't guard anybody in this series. And then when you take a look at Damian Lillard getting shut down by Jrue Holiday, I mean, CJ McCollum's there, but outside of that, I mean, what do you really have? You have Al-Farouq Aminu, Evan Turner, Mo Harkless. I mean, these guys are just guys that are not that great, but because they are getting paid an insane amount, and I mean, the contracts that Portland handed out, they need to fire their financial analyst or whoever it is that has been handing out these contracts. Evan Turner getting paid $17 million a year. Mo Harkless getting paid $10 million a year. Myers Leonard getting paid $9 million, $8 million a year. I don't know if Myers Leonard even saw the floor in this series. So Portland absolutely was forced to play these guys because they paid them so much money, which was absolutely a mistake. So this roster itself, I think it needs to get torn down. I think they need to do a retool, not necessarily a rebuild, but definitely a retool. Do I still think you can win with a Lillard and a McCollum? Yes, you can. But the other guys, the complementary pieces, they're just not getting it done. And at this point, I don't know how you do it because of the salary cap situation. They're just getting paid an insane amount. Evan Turner is one of the worst contracts in the NBA easily. So a lot of things to play here for Portland. Damian Lillard not showing up was the #1 thing in the series. He absolutely deserves all the criticism and blame that comes his way. And then, of course, the matchup wasn't that great either. So if I had to boil it all down, I'm going to say two things. I'm going to say the Pelicans matchup was not good for the Blazers, but also Damian Lillard did not absolutely show up at all. I think I put the most blame on Damian Lillard, then I put it on the matchup, and then I give the Pelicans credit as well. So let me know what you guys think. If you guys agree or disagree, leave a comment down below. Make sure to follow me on my social media. A lot more playoff news updates analysis, more analysis coming. So stay tuned, turn on post notifications, and as always, thanks for watching.